Halo, or sorry, Will ended Halo.
Will ended Halo.
Will ended Halo forever. Joe Staten's
Yo,
gone.
I want you to know, I laughed so hard in Halo 1 when they were like, the Halo's not a ring or a planet, it's a weapon. I'm like, what? I've been walking around this fucking 3-dimensional polygon beach. You're going to tell me this is the world's greatest weapon.
For sure, right?
Oh, man.
So,
no, I love the fact
Will
that
ended Halo, but
the
you know
first
what
time
he
you get
didn't
into
end?
Halo,
This podcast. Will did not end the podcast, thankfully. We're still here. We're resilient.
Will ended Krillcast. No.
If you guys ever broke up, that'd be so sad. You would just be the Chicast.
Yes. But it sounds like chicken.
Would you ever go full Yoko Ono and John Lennon? If you guys broke up, would you just call it the Chris Cast?
Hey, she just got
man,
what's the word? She's not responsible. They proved that she's not responsible for the breakup of the Beatles. New book just came out.
By the way, Dan, are you playing Halo right now?
I am playing Halo right now, and I'm very hesitant to trigger the next event.
I don't know what just happened between this stream and the last one. Before, I only heard your buttons, and now I'm only hearing the game.
Well, because we're not streaming yet, so I'll mute it once we're actually doing it.
I have bad news. We're streaming now.
Are we? Chris, are we on?
You can look at the live button.
What's going on?
I don't know, man. Well,
yeah,
all right,
I'm
gonna mute it. Oh, word, guys. That was our sample of Halo Infinite. I hope you appreciated the music.
We just got copyright stricken by. How was the OST, by the way? I'm sure.
Listen.
Oh, actually, no. This is
nothing could ever compete with the BBC taking our stream down midstream when we had Roanoke Gaming and Wild Such Gaming on. We had like somewhere between 50 and 100 people watching. And we had one clip of BBC because we wanted to show like a specific piece of nature. It was like this fungus that only grows. It's a parasitic fungus that grows through an ant's head. And we wanted to show it because we were talking about the flood. And we pulled up the video from the BBC. And not even like 10 seconds into that clip being in our stream, BBC took our entire stream down.
That is impressive.
What's funny about that actually is I can relate to a little bit. My Game Awards reaction immediately got blocked. I have never had this happen. It got immediately blocked by The Matrix.
What?
Yeah, so because the Game Awards showed The Matrix clip, it was an immediate block by Warner Brothers. And then I didn't even know this. It actually got unblocked recently. But it was just so funny. Like, I mean, I never do any of my YouTube videos for actual money anyway. I just wanted to do it and talk with friends, but I just thought it was so funny of like, out of all the things to like, it wasn't Imagine Dragons, it wasn't Sting, it wasn't like some random game trailer. It was the 5-second clip of The Matrix in 240p. That's what did me in.
WB is pretty strict.
That was the clip That was the clip they did specifically to ask if frickin' Keanu Reeves could still do that. That backwards, the one Matrix clip that everybody knows where he's going all the way back and dodges the bullets. That's literally the clip. And it's like, really? Neo dodging bullets is how you're going to get somebody copyright struck down for the Game Awards. I bet they hit everybody then. If they hit you, I bet they hit everybody.
I got, well, to be fair, I wasn't an official co-streamer of it, so anyone who was an official co-streamer wouldn't have gotten any copyrights. I didn't even monetize the video. That was like the best part about it. But like it got all undone. I will say this: I'm looking at Windows Central's article because we were talking about systems. I'm going to just say this right now, with the exception of, because we're talking widely available special edition systems. I think the Xbox One, including the X, has only had 3 good-looking systems. Gears of War 5, the Minecraft one. Oh, okay, sorry, I'll say this, 4. The Gears of War 4 one, like the all-red one, that looked really, really nice, and the Halo 5 one. Everything else for Xbox One special edition systems look absolutely disgustingly bad. Like, they made 2 different brown systems for Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. It's like it's rough, man.
Yeah, as far as special editions go, I go back and I have to tell you, the military green with the orange chrome for Halo 3 was the best looking Xbox 360 ever made.
We need to get you one so you can like put it behind you.
And I still want I want a military green Xbox Series X with orange chrome on top. Like instead of having the blue like you have on the one you have, I want it to be orange.
Makes me wonder what honestly
green.
I'm surprised actually that Microsoft was able to actually pull it off to get a special edition Series X for this all. I have a feeling if anything they probably had to like do a collector's edition for Halo or do a system for Halo. And I think at the end of the day, it makes more sense just to get a system out because they made a ton of these. It's not like
because nobody's gonna buy nobody.
Well, no, like that's the thing though. Not like anyone
who's
who
buying
wants
discs,
one,
right?
Well, all of us.
I'm just saying, like when you look at it from a marketing perspective, they want people on Game Pass. They don't care if you buy the disc. They don't even care if you buy the system. But for people that want something custom or special, the console's the way to go this gen.
Oh my god! Right. I don't know how I forgot about this. Every time you talk about the Halo 3 Orange 360, we should instead just post the image of the Halo 1 Orange Xbox Special Edition. Do you remember this one?
I do remember that one. Yeah,
I'm going to post it in chat just so everyone can be as cursed as I am right now. That looks fake. That looks like someone like made a fake system and like put it in there.
That looks awful, man.
Excuse me, there was a Halo 2 Special Edition Xbox? I did not know about this. It was only released in Canada and China. How does that happen?
I don't like that design at all, man.
The one for Halo.
Yeah, I gotta say that
the one for Halo is a little more forgivable. That's the translucent Halo system. It was the Halo.
I think military edition. Green always looks better.
Well, what shade of green is military green?
I don't like that orange one.
I'm gonna get you that for your birthday next year. I'm gonna track one of these ugly puppies down and get it for you.
No. This is what you guys want. Hold on. I'm gonna send it a link. It's hard for me to send these links.
Are any of us real Halo fans if we don't have the $200 Series 2 Elite controller? Because I don't think we are.
Yeah, I think you're all just dilettantes at that point.
That is. I was hoping.
I was going to say that's peak. If you like the Halo 3 Special Edition system, that is that color scheme on a controller to the T.
I wanted that controller, but I didn't want it because it didn't match the Xbox Series X that I was getting.
It matches no system.
That was my issue.
I will say this.
I sent the private chat.
I'll allow you to be a real Halo fan if both of you have this. Do you both still have your physical copy of the Halo 2 map pack?
Not at all.
I do.
I've never seen that disc in person. I know it's real, but I've never seen it like in a used game store. It's really weird.
Do you want me to go get my copy right now and turn my camera on just for you?
No, I believe you. I will say this. I miss the days of selling DLC as a physical disc. I always think that's like such a baller move.
Do you know what the funniest thing about that disc is?
Is it there's nothing
on it? You know what the funniest thing is, Spencer? There's one map pack that was released after that disc.
No way. There was multiple. I thought it was only ever just one.
There's a map pack that was released after that disc was minted, and if you wanted to get that map pack, you could only have gotten it for a short period of time after it was released, and then before the servers were discontinued on the 360 for the Halo 2. So on PC you can get it all day, no problem.
We need to get you the Halo triple pack. Do you know what the Halo triple pack is?
Yeah, it's Halo 1, Halo 2, and the Halo 2 map pack.
I love they look like a trilogy. Like you it's like, how do you get catfished? It's like, if you bought it, it's like, look, I got you Halo 3. It's like, what do you mean? It's just Halo 2 DLC.
Oh, that's messed up, man.
You're not wrong.
That's really funny. Which is funny. Like, I feel like there's no easy way to bundle Halo unless you do the Master Chief Collection. That's like the funny thing about it is like the 360 games are so weird and different. Like, what are you going to do? Bundle 3, 4, and Reach?
Good.
No.
Like,
three OST.
I will say this. One of my favorite things I love about the Master Chief Collection is that they still have credit to Bungie on the front of the box and in the game. I think that's such a like a cool move. Like any other studio wouldn't have to do that. Like, kind of like getting into my nerdier thing. Like, so Chris, with the Persona 4 Ultimax thing, in all of their press that they've put out for it, not once have they mentioned the developer's Arc System Works. There's nothing on the website. There's nothing in the legal text. There's nothing with the actual developer's name on it because they don't have to.
That's because Persona's. The problem is you have Atlas has always been Persona. They've always had Persona. They've always had Shin Megami Tensei after the original 2 Mega 10 games. I know they produced those, but was it like somebody else? Was it Bandai or somebody owns the rights to the Mega 10 games?
Bandai Namco still owns the rights to the NES version of Megami Tensei 1 and 2.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I knew there was some like rights dispute, but other than that, Atlas has always owned Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, so there's no like dispute over which company made a better version of the franchise, right? Whereas with Bungie, now you're into weird waters where Bungie produced all of the quote-unquote greatest Halo games, at least for the bulk of the fan base that's still around. And so if you don't credit Bungie, you piss off a lot of the OG Halo fans.
Can I give a hot take about Bungie now that I'm finally playing a first-person shooter of theirs that's not Oni or Marathon? So I've played Marathon, which makes no sense.
I played Marathon too.
Playing Halo 1, even as 20 years later, I am insulted at how much better they were at making single-player campaigns compared to Destiny 1 and 2. I think Destiny 1 and 2 are so embarrassingly shallow compared to even Halo 1. It makes me not like Destiny even more. And I have never loved Destiny. I've always been morbidly curious about Destiny, but like just playing Halo 1 is like, this is better than Destiny's campaign. What the hell does that mean? Like, where did all the like creative minds at like Bungie go? Because like honestly, I'll be real. If you told me, like as of today, with all the time I've put into Halo 1 and Infinite, do I want 343 to keep the reins or should I give it back to Bungie? I'd be like, I trust 343 more than Bungie right now.
No, I'm keeping it with 343 at this point. I mean, they've got Joseph Staten, right? They've got some of the heart and soul of the original Halo franchise at 343. The problem with Bungie is it's so diluted by Activision at this point. Like,
it's so funny people still say that, but dude, there have been more years now post Bungie Activision than like, because like we've had more years of Destiny 2 by only Bungie than Destiny, probably even actually.
Bungie's house was cleaned the second they got to Activision. A lot of their biggest talent left.
True, like but I mean, in terms of design philosophy, I think they had one chance to redeem Destiny, and they would have had to cut Destiny 2 and make a Destiny 3. And they've already said they're not never. They have no plans to make Destiny 2 stop at any point. Their plan is just to keep adding. But the thing that sucks about that is, like I was telling someone, you can't play Destiny 2's campaign. They've literally sunsetted that game's campaign. Like it's free to play now.
Yep.
But the only thing free about it is the like little bits of missions that might be left over. Like they've locked off the entire original campaign for that game, and you just can't play it.
Yeah, I do not like the way that Destiny was handled, or Destiny 2. I think the games are solid shooters. I'll give them that much.
Oh yeah,
As
it
far as
handles
a
great. Like Destiny
campaign-
plays great, but like even like hardcore Destiny people, every time I hear them talking about being excited for like whatever the Witch Queen season that's coming up, it's like it sounds like sounds like broken Sonic fans. Like this next one's gonna be so good, guys. Just wait. This is like literally every Destiny release from an outsider's perspective has been this. Comes out. Oh, sorry, pre-release. We're excited. They're doing it. There's going to be a focus on story. It comes out. Everyone marathons it in a week. No more content. Wait for updates. Bored of updates. Don't play it anymore. New announcement for the next expansion. Rinse and repeat the cycle. Like, no one outside of the people who just want to grind levels and equipment in raids. Like, I don't want a game that I get sick of playing after a week and then I begrudgingly buy the campaign every 6 months. Like, I would like for Destiny to just be a cohesive
I bought Destiny.
experience.
You know how stupid I am? I bought Destiny like 3 times. That's how stupid I am.
It like just sucks though that like
original Destiny.
I'm assuming you mean the physical release, so like the first one, Taken King, and then whatever the Iron, whatever, blah blah blah.
I bought the original release, and then I was like, this is garbage, and I got rid of it. And then I bought the Taken King. Like, oh, the game's finally done. So I bought Taken King because it came with the expansion, and you got like 25 levels for free. I was like, okay, cool. And I tried playing. I was like, this is garbage, and I sold it again. And then I bought it again when they launched like the full Destiny edition or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they still had like DLC after that, and I still didn't like it, so I got rid of it again.
Yeah, it's like Destiny to me is just one of those weird.
So I never even
like,
bought or played. I never bought or played 2 ever. I was
like
so
if you
sworn
told
off
me when Destiny, because like Destiny 1 launching, people might not remember this. Destiny 1 was an event. Like there was so much hype leading into Destiny 1. Like this was going to be the next big franchise. This was going to be like, and it made sense. It was a big Activision title. There was so much co-branding. There was so much market. Like I worked the midnight launch of Destiny 1, and the amount of people who were like just here because like it's Bungie, they're gonna kill it. I can't wait. Like it was just everyone was in the beta. I felt like the only one who played the beta and the alpha of Destiny 1 being like, I don't think there's a lot of game here. And then guess what? When Destiny 1 came out, everyone was like, oh God, that wasn't the beta. That was the game. There's like a few more levels after the beta, but it was like, that was it. And it was like, and again, I know it goes back to its core of like, it's a lot of the like, how they planned out that game, but like, imagine how much success they probably could have had if they literally just were like, let's just make a really solid single player and add some multiplayer elements like Halo. Like, not try and make it a live service thing. Because, like, for all of the good Destiny did in terms of being a live service game, it has no goodwill now. Like, when do you ever hear anyone talk about Destiny doing something interesting anymore?
Not
Never.
often, for sure.
So that's where I'm at, though. Like Bungie leaving Microsoft automatically made me worried about the future of Halo, because like the only thing I can equate to this is Bungie leaving Microsoft was like Tom Brady leaving the Patriots. You had like the best studio at Xbox saying we're gonna try our own thing, and that either goes really well or really bad. And then when I found out that Activision picked them up, I was like, oh, Bungie's done. Like there's no recovering from this. And you saw like Bungie people dropping ship, like they're just out, gone. I don't want to do this. People leaving it to go to 343. People leaving it for other studios.
I've always wondered this, by the way. Since Marty O'Donnell had such a messy breakup with Bungie, why has Microsoft never tried to get him to come back to do Halo?
I think there's some agreements there because like he still owns the rights to a lot of the music, like partially. But as far as that goes, like Marty O'Donnell is a great composer, and he's a really well-spoken composer. But I've heard he's pretty hard to work with, so I don't know.
I'm gonna look up what I'm like. What is the last thing he's even composed for? I can't even.
He's got his own game studio now.
Let's take a look here because I forgot he even did music.
Well, he was
for
involved.
Bungie.
He was involved in that controversial game. What was it, like the 6 days in whatever?
Oh yeah, 6 Days in Fallujah. I unironically cannot wait to play that. I hope that's good. I don't think it's going to be good, but I hope it's good.
He's part of that studio.
Oh,
they did that.
That's him?
Yeah, because I saw that commercial on his YouTube channel, because he's got a YouTube channel with over 100K subscribers, and I was surprised to see it there. And then come to find out, he's part of that game dev team.
Mm-hmm. So was the last game he did, was it Reach? He didn't do anything for 4 or 5?
Correct. Yes. That's why they redid a lot of the music in like newer versions of them for those games, because Microsoft owned the arrangements, but they didn't own the physical song that was produced by Marty O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore. So like he can post those songs anywhere he wants.
Yo, this is sad. Marty O'Donnell has done one game since Destiny 1. He did some stuff for Golem from Highwire Games.
That's his studio.
But like that's it?
I think
he's not done any what a discipline, not even like
he was tied up in litigation for years. Do you know that? Like he couldn't really produce.
I knew he had a lot of shit in terms of like with like Bungie, but I wasn't like thinking there was anything stopping him from making new stuff though. Like that's what's weird.
Well, when you're in court as long as he was, it does kind of put a damper on making music.
So now here's the weird thing of like, is anyone like, is he gonna like, because like, I'm sorry, Golem fans out there, no one's talked about Golem for PlayStation VR. So it's like one of those funny things of just being like, is this it? He's just going to be known for Halo? Like, because also, no offense, Destiny, I could not remember a single track from the entirety of Destiny 1.
Oh, they kind of gutted his music from the game a
little bit. Yeah, that's right. That's one of the big things that led to their falling out with him at Bungie. Yeah, because the big split basically during that game's development, like all of his stuff basically got scrapped anyways.
Well, some of it did. The biggest issue that he had was he produced all the music for Destiny, and then he wanted to release it, which is what he does with all of his music. And Activision's like, nah, you can't do that. And Bungie's like, well, we have always let Marty O'Donnell do this. And then they had like a big falling out between Activision management and Bungie management. And then they told Bungie, no, you're going to tell him he can't do this. And then they told him he couldn't do that. And he like literally about quit that day. And then there's like this founders thing. Basically, the whole mess was Marty O'Donnell, when they reformed Bungie before they joined Microsoft, became one of the founding members of Bungie. And so he owned a big, significant stake in Bungie. And then when they cut ties with him, he didn't get his stake of Bungie when they forced him out. And that was the whole lawsuit. And he ended up winning that and got a lot of money out of it. I think money and rights. I don't know. He didn't want money. He just wanted rights to his music. Like, at the end of the day, Marty O'Donnell wanted to own his music. And I don't think he got his way with that.
It's just kind of interesting because I remember in terms of controversial composers, I remember him and I remember the guy who did the music for Doom 2016 and Eternal, how there was that big breakup with Eternal's soundtrack. What was it, Mick Gordon, right? I
don't know a lot about Doom, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Mick Gordon had a big falling out. He did all the music for Doom 2016 and Doom 2016 and Eternal, but Bethesda, because apparently he was also kind of hard to work with, or at least not very good at hitting deadlines, he didn't get to master all of the songs. So then all of the DLC for Doom Eternal, which were really beefy campaigns, he didn't work on any of those.
Huh. Yeah, I guess one of the main things that Marty did was he did a lot of tracks that never made it to the final cut of Bungie. And he wanted rights to all of his music, which I understand. Like, you're a composer, you did all this work, you want to be able to release all of your music, whether it makes the game or not. And they're like, no, we own this music. You produced it for us. Like, we're not going to give it to you.
Yo, shout out, though, to Mick Gordon. for also doing the soundtrack to Killer Instinct 1 and 2, which had an amazing soundtrack. I will
Like the
never
original
forget.
ones?
No. For Killer Instinct on Xbox One. Remember the launch one?
No, because there's Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah. That was oh god, I'm forgetting his name, but the composer from Rare. But yeah, the
Because I have
Killer Cuts. You got your Killer Cuts CD.
I got Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo. I have that version.
The best part about buying Killer Instinct on Xbox One, remember, if you bought the season pass, you got the original arcade version on Xbox One,
which is what the Super Nintendo one was based on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but,
I remember that.
But so, Chris, I'm wondering for you though with Infinite, since you're not on Zeta Halo yet, how long is that prequel? Like, how long have you been like doing the? I guess not prequel. How long is the prologue mission?
As Will would put it, I'm a legendary masochist. I just play legendary all the time. That's all I play Halo. That's why Halo 5 took me so long.
Hold on. I thought you were a heroic masochist. So you're doing your first playthrough on legendary solo?
Every single time I play Halo, it's legendary on solo.
Wow, that's actually masochistic. Like, I could understand doing heroic for your first playthrough, but yeah, the max difficulty your first playthrough, that is when did that start? Like, what Halo started that?
I think I did that for the first time Reach. Because I did CE the first time I did normal, because I was a kid when I played CE. And Halo 2 is unforgiving. You don't really see people that play Halo 2 on legendary the first time or even at all. That one is not. There is no forgiveness in Halo 2 when you play on legendary. Especially the co-op on Halo 2 is almost worse on legendary than single player. Because if any single person dies in Halo 2's legendary on the campaign, you restart a checkpoint. Like, you can't revive that person. Yeah. It's like,
hold on. Is that only legendary?
Only legendary.
Why? Wow,
it's like having Iron Skull on all the time. Yeah, and that's basically the basis for Iron Skull in Halo 3 is they re-implement the rules from Halo 2 on a Halo 3 campaign playthrough. Now, what I don't do is I don't do Lasso. Lasso makes it way harder.
Legendary all skulls on?
Yes.
So
that's something I don't do.
I just learned about that. I'm like, is that one of those things that is there ever a way to make that fun? Like, has there ever been like, oh, Halo 3 is great on Lasso. Like, Halo 3 is great.
If you're streaming on Twitch, it's a lot of fun.
I'll say this. Is Legendary more or less fun co-op?
Depends on the game. On Halo 2, it's a headache. It almost makes it worse.
Because it's a liability, I bet.
Yeah, because you either have to be really good and your partner has to be really good, or you have to be so bad that it's actually enjoyable to get killed a bajillion times. Like, those are the only. Like, there's no in between. Either you have to be like matched with the skill of your co-op partner, so like nobody's dying more than the other. Otherwise, you just sit there like, really, you died again?
Oh my
dude?
God! So I'm going through the Halopedia as one does. The legendary differences are extensive.
Yes, they are.
Oh my God! Also, can someone remind me what the hell an elite zealot is?
It's a specific type of elite.
Oh, is it the white elites that you like encounter into that level? Like the really big white ones?
I don't remember which elites they are specifically. I know that it's a specific type of elite you meet in a specific level.
This is
maybe Dan knows.
Bonkers. I think literally in black armor, but
literally the first thing on Halo 2's Legendary is a quote by Frank O'Connor warning about permadeath for co-op players. It's the first thing before he even starts. Like, we're gonna just let you know right now.
Whoa! Sorry.
So that is bonanzas.
Yeah, basically, if you die in co-op on Halo 2, it's a pain.
I will. Oh, here's a weird Halo question, because I have a lot of respect for this, but I'm not sure if it's a Master Chief thing. Did Halo 1 have instant loads when you died? Because I am so impressed. Like in Halo 1, like at least I'm playing MCC. Once you've loaded that level, you will never see any level of loading or stuttering. It's just everything's instant. Of like you die, see your animation, there you go, you're right back.
Yeah,
Kind
I've
of.
never seen loading in Halo 2 for sure.
Loading on the original Xbox or the 360 was not as fast as you see it on the Xbox One or on the Series X. It is very fast, but it's not the instant you get on the Series X.
Oh my god, Chris, I didn't even think about this. Halo Wars on Legendary. This is just too much.
I did attempt that. I actually have not. That is my one caveat. I have not completed the Halo Wars games.
Halo Wars 1 and 2 lasso run clearly needs to be done.
I don't think there are there skulls on Halo Wars.
Not that I know of.
We'll make them.
I don't think they exist.
I mean, you can just challenge yourself, right? You can't make a certain type of vehicle or something. That would be a self-imposed skull.
So Halo Wars is like this weird situation for me. Like, I've always loved the Halo Wars 1 game because it is the final game produced by Ensemble Studios before they went defunct, and Microsoft gave them the good old EA treatment. You know, siphon off some of your best.
About Ensemble.
So, Ensemble Studios is one of my favorite studios from my childhood. Like, even more so than Bungie. Like, I know it's hard to say, but I played so much Age of Empires and Age of Mythology, so much more than any other franchise growing up. Like, it's like a kind of this big secret. And then I stopped playing all of those around 2012-ish. And I really haven't gone back and touched them since, just because. And I won't touch Age of Empires 4 probably at all, even though I love Age of Empires. I won't play Halo Wars 2 for a while. I still have the burn from Ensemble Studios getting defuncted by Microsoft, who I thought would never defunct Ensemble Studios because of how good Age of Empires is. And then they did. And I'm still angry at Microsoft for doing that to Ensemble Studios. One of my the best RTS maker of all time, in my opinion. So Halo Wars, dude. I haven't finished it because when I finish Halo Wars, that's it for Ensemble Studios for me.
So I will at least say this. I had an immense amount of respect that Halo Wars 2 is actually technically kind of a Sega game because they got Relic to make it. I thought if they had to get any developer to make Halo Wars 2, I think Relic's the only team who I'd want them to pick for that. So here's the weird thing.
They did Age of Empires 4 as well.
So here's the weird one. I did not know this. Halo 2, there are skulls you can only find in Legendary. That's evil.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
And what is it here? In the silent cartographer, if you play on easy, you explicitly don't hear the guitar version of Rock Anthem for Saving the World. Like, do they just cuck you? They're like, no, you don't get this song. You're playing on baby mode. I'm sorry. What a choice to be like, no music for you on this level. You just get silence.
So when you asked me about earlier about legendary endings being canonical and also missing from other runs, there are extra parts of every legendary ending, which is why I've never played non-legendary. And if you look at my achievements, I have almost all of the legendary campaign achievements, except for where there was one, like an offline achievement, didn't save online for some reason.
Will you ever get all 7,000 achievements in Master Chief Collection? That's the real question.
Oh, probably not. There was an inkling of a chance I was going to get all of the Halo 3 achievements at one point in time, but the multiplayer has died to the point where I can't even find a match. So I'm not going to ever finish Halo 3.
Oh God, yeah, I didn't even think about multiplayer trophies. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, achievements, Xbox and all that, but not trophies on Xbox.
Well, it's weird. The achievements symbol is just a trophy. That kind of fucks with me, which is weird. True. It's like, who's copying who now?
That way. Well, no, Gamerscore was first.
Gamerscore was definitely first, which was just like the G.
Yeah, by a long shot. Which actually, the funny thing about Gamerscore was Like it was so like nobody cared about it when it was. Nobody cared at all. It was like
Not
lowest on the
nobody, but
totem pole.
it was very low stakes. Like if you were into it,
And then Sony was like, "Oh crap, we got to get our own thing," and they created trophies. And then they started this infighting between Xbox and PlayStation owners about which one was better. And now you have achievement hunters and trophy hunters, and people don't care. There's people that love it and people that just ignore it.
Do you two remember Titan? I just got reminded of it looking up Ensemble.
Can't say that I ever played it, actually.
No, I don't.
Titan was the
Did that ever get launched?
Of the Halo MMO. That was the last thing Ensemble was working on. They were working on the Halo MMO. I totally forgot about Titan.
Because that was a thing that's basically what it wasn't. Halo Wars that bankrupted Ensemble. That didn't help because like nobody bought it, or people bought it were disappointed because they thought it was a Halo game.
Yeah, that's just a tough sell. Halo Wars was advertised like Halo. Like it's a great RTS. Although I will say, I cannot believe I forgot that Halo Wars got remastered, and I feel like I never hear anyone talk. Like you very rarely hear about Halo Wars. You very, very rarely hear anyone talk about Halo Wars Definitive Edition. I'd be curious, like what the actual differences is in terms of the game compared to the original.
They just upped the resolution. They added some better.
Oh, there wasn't like balance changes or anything.
I don't think so. I mean, anything that would have been balance changes would have been done before Ensemble Studios was defuncted. It's a pretty well balanced game. Really, the main thing was when they did Halo Wars 2, they just up-resed a bunch of Halo Wars stuff and then called that a day essentially.
Uh-huh.
That's what I understand, anyways.
Oh, this is weird. Halo Wars Definitive Edition was released early in December. I thought it released in December. And the Halo Waypoint has...
It was a pre-order bonus, I think.
It was...
Wasn't Halo Wars a pre-order bonus for Halo Wars 2 pre-orders?
It wasn't a pre-order bonus. It was a pre-order if you bought the collector's edition. Oh, here we go. When it first became available for those who pre-ordered Halo Wars 2 Ultimate Edition... Okay, so you had to pre-order Ultimate Edition digitally to play it in December. Otherwise, you would then get it in February. That's why there's the separation. Okay.
It's almost like, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD.
Pre-order. Yo, imagine having a 2-month wait for a remaster.
Yeah.
That's actually cuckoo bananas. I will say this though. A weird Halo discrepancy. I've always wondered if fans care about this. Do you guys think fans want a PC version / a Series X version of Halo 5? Because I think it's really weird how Master Chief Collection and Infinite are all on PC, and they're all on next gen, and they all have all these nice bells and whistles, and 5 is just stuck on Xbox One.
See,
I mean, they should probably do it, right?
Technically, Halo 5 is on PC.
Mm-mm.
Because
that's Forge.
No, hear me out.
That does not count. That's just Forge.
No, I mean between Forge and xCloud, technically Halo 5 is on PC.
Nobody has played Halo 5 on xCloud via PC. I can guarantee that. Not a single person has done that. Will killed Halo by ending the show early,
our first stream.
And we're now extending it way longer than we probably should, talking about Bungie, Destiny, and now fake ways to play Halo 5. That's like saying someone's can play that. Like Chris, that's like saying I can play Red Dead Redemption 1 on PC via PlayStation Now. Yeah, I could, but who would do that? What monster would do that?
There's a lot of people that played Infamous 1 and 2, the PS3 versions, on PS4 with PS Now. That's actually a pretty highly ranked game on PS Now service.
I'll say this. As much how much I love Infamous. I'm literally wearing an Infamous piece of merch right now. Infamous 1 and 2, I am always amazed how ugly they look. Those games did not hold up graphically.
No, but the comic books cutscenes were really well done. I think that held up well. And if you can switch the saturation, and brightness and contrast, Infamous looks a lot better.
For sure. Oh yeah, but one of these days we should do an Infamous talk, because like I think each of the games have held up so differently in retrospect. I respect 1 somehow more than even when it first came out. I think 2 did so much interesting that people don't talk about, especially when you consider the level creator and Festival of Blood. And then I love that like Second Son at the time seemed so cool, but just immediately was just so forgettable for so many reasons. It was so weird.
I felt like Infamous 1 and 2, you had actual choices. And then with Infamous Second Son, it felt like no matter what you did, the same thing kind of happened. Except at the end, when essentially like Colin, they called, shoot, is it shoot, what the heck is the guy's name?
Wait, you like Cole McGrath? You kind of cut up. Whose name were you asking about from which game?
Second Son, Delson.
Oh yeah, Delson Rowe.
Delson. It's like all the way up until the very end. Like all your decisions kind of were meaningless, and then like you make that one decision, like you're a punk kid. It's like it like hits different, right? I hate the ending.
Dan, before you leave, I need to ask you a really important question. Dan, can you tell me the name of the last character you play as in the Infamous series?
I've never played that game, so good question. Good question, Spencer.
Chris, you are also wrong. It was a trick question. Remember, Second Son wasn't the last game. It was First Light. You played as Fetch.
Well, you're right. I mean, that doesn't count. That's not even part
counts.
of Second Son.
That's literally the last Infamous game. Is Infamous Second Son? It was a standalone game.
You
said
Infamous. The last character you play as in Infamous Second Son.
Oh, did I say Second Son? Sorry,
you play as Fetch in First Light.
Infamous, the last Infamous game in general. The last Infamous game in the series.
Do you know how badly marketed Festival of Blood was?
Probably it wasn't marketed as badly as First Light. First Light was really forgotten, which is a shame because for $10, that's a great game.
First Light's better than most $10 games out there.
Did you know? Goodbye, Dan. Did you know, Chris?
Sorry, Dan.
Goodbye, First Light actually got a patch for PS4 Pro and runs in 4K.
I have a PS4 Pro and First Light, so yes, I did know that.
So sadly,
Infamous is like is my favorite non-RPG PlayStation franchise.
That's a sad thing to say. Don't say that out loud to people. Like, I understand why you're saying that, but that's actually sad to hear come out of another human being's mouth.
Why is that?
There's so many other better. Like, I love Sucker Punch, but Infamous is not like that. They didn't peak. Like, I haven't even beaten Ghost of Tsushima, and I already know Ghost of Tsushima is everything Infamous tried to be, but better.
I just love the gameplay loop of it. Like Infamous for me is the best superhero game on a PlayStation.
Nope. Not anymore. Back in the day, when the first one came out, 100%. Especially when it was compared to like Prototype, hands down. Infamous is such a great, unique morality game, superhero game, art book style, like really good voice acting. Like I really love Infamous. I totally get it. But it's just one of those things of like, in retrospect, unless you're you and me and a couple of other Infamous fans out there, it just didn't have that nostalgia, because like other things, like there have been better superhero games, there have been better open world games, there have been better stories, there have been better morality choices and stuff like that. Like honestly,
yes, you're talking objectively. I'm talking subjectively.
I know, but it's like I'm trying to think of it, because there's not really a first party PlayStation game that's like Infamous.
No, the closest thing to Infamous, in my opinion, the closest thing to Infamous is probably Sunset Overdrive.
No, definitely not. That's not. I mean, there's elements for sure. I will say this: have you played Ghost of Tsushima?
No, I haven't.
you're gonna play it and go, this is the best Infamous game that's not Infamous, because it's got morality, it's got making choices, it's got the really great art style, it's got a actually very well done story. Like you look at how bad the story is in Second Son, and then you go, oh, this is what it's like.
But
Like,
does it
I don't
have
know.
parkour?
It actually does, yeah, because you can do free running and stuff, and you can jump up and climb on things. There's a grappling hook. You love grappling hooks now. You're playing Halo Infinite. So, like, I will say this: if we ever do
I like
if we ever
grappling hooks. Go ahead.
if we ever do a Infamous cast, I think you would almost have to do it game by game, because each one is so different for so many different reasons. Especially with the fact that, like, Second
Infamous 2
Son
kind of broke. Infamous 2 kind of broke the system that Infamous 1 created. And there were some elements I liked, but I never understood why you would take an electrical guy and put him in a almost entirely watery swamp area.
diversity, but yeah, I mean,
It never worked right.
yeah, but no, like the thing with Second Son is Second Son originally was going to have a really, really interesting, dark, super serious story, and literally got rewritten and done within 6 months before the game launched. Like, it had a Halo 2
That's because
development.
that's because Sucker Punch. There was another game that was supposed to launch with the PlayStation 4, and then it didn't, and it got moved out like a year or two past when it
Are
was
you talking about
supposed
Drive
to.
Club?
I don't remember what game it was. There was a game that was supposed to be a launch title.
Yeah,
And then
Drive
when they
Club was
realized-
supposed to be a launch, and then they pushed it back.
Maybe that was what it was, but either way, Sony was like, "Hey, Sucker Punch, you think you can have this out within 6 months of launch of PS4?"
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
they did. Like, there are some lines in Infamous Second Son where they just had him record a whole bunch of extra lines behind the scenes. Like, they said it was Travis Barker, right?
Oh,
No.
Troy Baker, you mean?
Troy Baker. I'm sorry, Troy Baker. They had him record a whole ton of lines and said, "We don't know if we're going to use these or not, but just record them anyways, and then we'll just slip them in where they make sense."
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh
how
my gosh.
ridiculous that dev cycle was.
Do you remember? I'm gonna have to type this in just so I make sure I'm not doing the wrong one. There's two Infamous games I always forget. I always think people forget about. The Facebook Farmville clone for Infamous. I forgot what it was called, but I'm looking it up
Facebook
now.
Farmville clone.
There was a Facebook Infamous game. Then type this in Farmville clone. Then type it in. Farmville
Was it
clone.
based on that movie with Jason?
No, this is literally just, it was a Infamous 2 tie-in game on Facebook. Here, I'll just do this. Infamous 2 Facebook game.
Was it the Paper Trails?
No, that was the second one I was going to ask you. I'm glad you remember that. Paper Trails was the, like, weird in-game ARG that was so poorly done. Like, I loved the concept of Paper Trails, but remember, it was like you had to pull it up on a web browser, do things in-game, and then hope the website knew that you did it. It was like, it was so poorly implemented, but it was such a cool thing because it was all about this like murder mystery. Like, Paper Trails was such a cool idea, but it was like,
there was supposed to be like 3 of those essentially, and then Sony had this idea. They wanted Sucker Punch to have this continuously evolving content where you could like do this detective work. So you had like a post game content. And then Sucker Punch was like, "Yeah, we don't ever do that kind of a thing." And then Sony's like, "Well, you still have to do something." So they did First Light. That was why First Light exists, because they were supposed to do DLC for Second Son, and then they said, no. And so they did First Light instead.
I forgot it was released weekly too. That's like a total blur, dude. Oh my god.
So I guess I think Paper Trails is supposed to be a side quest in game, and then like Sony wanted to do something different, and so they made Sucker Punch create what Paper Trails became, only to eventually destroy the website and put it back in the game.
Yo, found it. Infamous Anarchy. What an absolutely the only time I ever tried playing a Facebook game.
God, that was bad. That was so bad.
It was because there were unlockables in Infamous 2 only in Anarchy.
That's so bad.
Oh my god.
Did you get the Cole's Legacy DLC?
Of course. I bought the collector's
So
edition for Infamous 2.
I found
Infamous
out
Second Son.
this is my biggest gripe with Sony, and
You've
they've no longer
been
do this
through
anymore.
it. You've told me your whole journey of trying to get it and they just won't sell it to you is like the saddest thing.
I ended up getting it. I had to create a European account, and it does work on my American
Whoa!
PlayStation.
They sold it on the European store?
Yeah, it's still available.
What? I mean, it was never sold on the American store, so that's what's crazy.
No,
That's
never
funny.
put it. No, the thing that I was so angry about is the expiration code. I bought a brand new sealed copy of Infamous Second Son, the first edition that had it in it. Opened it up and found out that the codes expired in like 2017. And they would not, like, for the longest time, they were like, oh yeah, you contact Sony, they redeem it. There's tons of Reddit threads about it. But apparently, they just randomly decided, nah, there's no skin off our backs to give you that DLC because it hasn't been redeemed. But we're just not going to. Like, what? Yeah, you've had plenty of time to do this. I just got it. What do you mean I've had plenty of time to redeem DLC I just got? So that was the idea. No. I even messaged Sucker Punch and said, help me. Help me get this. I want it so bad.
There's a couple of DLC items like that are infamous in the Sony world. Like the Ratchet and Clank 2016 remake. They made a pre-order bonus gun and never sold it. It was called like the Bouncer. And if you didn't pre-order the game, they've never let you get it. And if you ever go on any Ratchet and Clank tweet about it, Insomniac always gets asked, when can we get the Bouncer? Which was funny because it came up a lot last year because they patched it to run at 60 frames. And everyone was like, please, there's a gun just missing in the game. Can you please unlock it? And they're like, nope.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that necessarily as much because it was a pre-order bonus, and that's fine.
But that's literally, like, especially for something like Ratchet and Clank, you're missing a piece of like the game when a gun's like exclusive.
But my issue isn't necessarily that, although they should have make that available. My issue is an expiration on a code that's never used. It's like there is literally no logic that supports canning a DLC because it's too old, because it's still on the store, because people can still download it. It's not like that thing, a piece of data is gone. You know what I mean? Like that DLC still exists somewhere in cyberspace. And for them to just say, nah, we're not going to honor your DLC because it's expired. It's like, dude, it's still there. It's in the store. You can find it. What do you mean it's expired? It doesn't make sense. Like expiration codes on DLC makes no sense at all.
Yeah, it's super dumb. At least now, when we get DLC codes, if you look at the expiration dates, they're like they expire in 300 years. You go, perfect, thanks.
Well, yeah, that was one of the main complaints I had. Was like Sony has now realized their error and fixed it, and unless the store is like completely gone,
my
like
god,
you can get
Jacob
those.
Clark! I was just looking at that. Infamous Precinct Assault, the 2D action platform. It was a Flash game on the Infamous 1 website. What a callback, dude.
Yeah, I don't remember that
callback.
one.
Well, that one was just literally like that was like a little flat. There was no consequence to that at all. But like I literally was just looking at that. Like, by the way, I remember now. I remember now why I wanted to play the Facebook one. It was the only way to unlock skins and exclusive canes in the game without paying for the DLC. One of the canes was the Sly Cooper cane.
Oh my gosh, was it really?
Yeah, you could have the Sly Cooper cane in Infamous 2.
That's awesome. I have to say, my favorite game in the original Infamous trilogy, we'll call it, because Festival of Blood exists, was actually Festival of Blood. I think that plays the best out of the first three. It's short, but it
that's
really
the only complaint I ever have. It's like I love Festival of Blood, but oh my god, it is so short. But I really love that. I love that campaign. That's a really it's good story. It's good fun.
They like fully realized what the PS3 could do with that game. And as far as Sucker Punch goes, like that was when they really actualized Infamous on the PS3. And it's the shortest campaign with one of the best stories in the Infamous series. And then they brought us out with, Delson Road, Infamous Second Son. And you know what? I think the good route has some merit. I think it's well done. And I think the balance is there. I think the gameplay loop is good. And then there's like just completely broken parts of that game where I'm like, never mind. Forget I said all that.
I will never forget playing the demo for Infamous 1 that you got for buying Uncharted 2. And I was like, oh my god. This is literally just open world Uncharted with superpowers. And I was like, this game is going to be huge. Like, this is going to be the biggest game ever. And then it just died in 2004. Like, 2014. It's like no one ever talked. Like, when it comes to memorable PS4 things, more people remember Knack than Infamous. How sad is that?
Very sad. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I think Infamous Second Son is, from a gameplay standpoint, a very good game. I love how you get multiple superpowers, although even the superpowers elementally make no sense when you compare them to the powers from the first
video's
two
cool. Video's cool. Rock, what a waste getting it at the end. But yeah, like I think for everything I love about Second Son, there's a caveat. There's like a big asterisk I have to put next to everything in Infamous Second Son.
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't realize that you had the opportunity to do the side missions like well after you beat the game. So I ended up beating the entire both sides of the island of Seattle with the original power. I didn't even have the neon. I completed all of the side challenges.
That just sounds not fun. That doesn't even sound like it was challenging. It just sounds like it wasn't even fun.
Well, after I did that the first playthrough, because I did the good playthrough first, on easy.
Oh, hold on. Normal. I will say this. One of the most next gen, I thought this was like the coolest looking thing ever. And I think I'll have to end it after this because this is like the longest outro ever.
You're good.
Was doing Delson's superpower finish with the ashes, where he shoots up in the sky and then he crashes down when you're next to this Space Needle. I remember doing that, and I was like, oh my god, this game looks so good. Like, just everything looks so awesome with that, with the particle effects and everything. Like, that was one of those things of, like, when I had a PS4, I was like, this is some next-gen shit right here.
Actually, do you want to know the funny thing about Infamous Second Son that I found out the hard way? Infamous Second Son is one of the few games where it's, like, broken. Because on the PS4 Pro, you have, like, unlimited FPS on some of these original PS4 games. And my PS4 would turn into, like, a freaking jet engine when I would play Infamous Second Son. Why would, like, this first stab at PS4 games have my PS4 Pro sounding like a jet engine? And then I found out it's limitless FPS. So it's, like, literally topping out at FPS. And I didn't realize it. But that's why my PS4 was, like, grinding to a halt on this game, because it would just be, like, overclocking it practically with how fast.
It makes you wonder what would then happen if you put it in a unpatched version of Second Son to a PS5. Like, how that would run.
Oh, God. I don't know why. Probably burn it into a crisp. Like, the fact that my PS4 Pro is, like, practically dying on Infamous Second Son, it took me so long to figure out what was going on until I looked in the settings and realized, oh, it's because I'm practically overclocking the console on this one game. And then I turned that setting off, and everything went back to normal.
Oh my gosh! Well, I think I have to A, stop talking, and B, get back to playing Halo, because all of this just talking about Halo has made me want to be like, man, that Halo sounds fun to play.
I know, and you got me talking about Infamous. If somebody starts me on Infamous or Dead Rising, I'm like 3 hours deep.
Just wait for the inevitable Infamous Dead Rising podcast, where all you do is talk about both.
I'm definitely doing a Dead Rising one. I've got a perfect person lined up to talk Dead Rising. He's, like, hacked the entire game. He's got, like, and he's specifically a Dead Rising 1 guy. because he does like all Dead Rising 1 content all the time, and he's practically made a living doing that with like 40,000 subscribers, just talking and breaking down Dead Rising 1. So I'm just like, dang, one game. But Infamous I want to do too, but I got to find the right people to talk it. I found one guy on YouTube that does a lot of Infamous content, and then I would definitely want to have you on too.
Yeah, if there's, I mean, I feel like I have a very deep knowledge for a lot of Sony exclusives, but yeah, Infamous is one just because I'm such a huge Sucker Punch fan. Yeah, I guess pretty much always since whatever it
Sly
was, like
Cooper?
Blasto on. I was like, no, actually, I played their first game on the N64 one about like Rocket Blasto or whatever.
Sucker Punch is like almost always late to the party with their games, almost always, except for with Second Son. And they're almost all, like the comment that was made. Infamous is the best looking PS2 game on the PS3, and I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. They're just so weirdly uneven. Like I love Sly 1, I love Sly 2. Sly 3 is such a chore. Without looking at the story, and then looking at other things of like Infamous 1, really good but had some missed potential. 2 I loved, even though I know it was not perfect. Festival of Blood was fun, and then Second Son just was even more forgettable than I'd ever wished. First Light gets a pass, but I mean, like it's more just forgettable for everybody else. And then for whatever reason, Ghost of Tsushima is just like this masterpiece of like they nailed it, and I think that's part of like because the Sony gave them so much time to make it. Well, and also they did have to. Did you ever see that scrapped game? They were doing a open world steampunk game that they had a whole demo that leaked last year of what they were working on. I'll try and find the video for it because it leaked last year. It was part of why there was such a long wait between 2014 with Second Son and First Light and 2020. Like seriously, like they had like almost 6 years between the titles, but they were working on this steampunk game for almost 3 years, and they just totally scrapped it all.
Huh. I would have been interested to see that actually, because steampunk from Sucker Punch.
The video it is a full on slice of the game. It's showing gameplay, showing story, showing like it's like almost like a 20-minute long thing. So I'll link that over to you, but I've definitely gotta get myself a heart out.
No, you're good. You're good. We'll hop out. I appreciate you sticking out of this long. I plan to not have my power out and also have, working internet, and I have neither. So
it's almost like one of those things of just being like, can I just like it's almost like one of those things of like, can I like get some of my money back considering I'm paying for internet and then I just don't have any of this.
Right? Yeah, it's like, but after this, I'm going to be turning my generator off and see if the power came back yet.
Well, good luck, man. And I'm sure. I mean, this is just my way of being social. Whereas at least like with your family, I don't know what your family's doing when you have no power. So I'm just hoping they're either all sleeping or not bored and cold.
They're all sleeping, and like I said, I got the generator running. And we have natural gas heating, so it's not like we're all freezing.
Just thinking like,
anyway, appreciate you.
Dad's podcasting, and we're all freezing to death. What do I do?
Right. I'm gonna check this video out after this, Spencer, for sure.
Yeah, let me know what you think. It was a crazy thing. Like we never get leaks like this, and it was very interesting because like not only was it a crazy leak, Sony was super quick to ban anything, but then it was too late and it started going everywhere. They just kind of gave up. But yeah, like we never see leaks like that because this was really far along in development.
Yeah, it was probably about as far along in development as Scalebound was when that got canned.
No, this was farther. This was really, really long in development. Like they had done a lot of work for it. But yeah, be curious to see what you think for it. But hey, everybody, thanks for listening to us catfish you with Halo and then PlayStation stuff for the last hour.
I didn't catfish people. I said Will killed Halo. That's why we're not talking
That's true. Will killed Halo and then led to Infamous. So one leads to another.
I appreciate you guys for tuning in. All few of you that did. for this last hour, and I'll be combining both of these videos together for the audio version. So it'll make no sense. We'll be trailing off in the story, and then all of a sudden we
the
come
title
back.
of it has to be the all caps infamously long Halo discussion.
the infinitely infamous Halo podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my god, the wordplay options are limitless there.
Except Limitless was another series that got canceled ahead of its time. I could do a podcast on that too. Loved that TV series. All right.
Oh my god.
I'll talk to you later, Spencer.
See ya, everybody.
Take care.